Hey everyone, Aladdin's Castle here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about another deck that you guys should be playing for the upcoming Continentals in North America, which will be in January 9th through the 12th. Today I'll be talking about Ruby Amethyst, and lo and behold, just over the weekend we had the European Continentals with Domingo winning with Ruby Amethyst, and even having 3 of them in the top 8. Finishing off, so you really know that it's a really good consistent deck. There's a couple reasons why you guys should be playing this. If you guys are still deciding what to play, I did upload one last week, which was Amber Steel, and today we'll be covering Ruby Amethyst. So first bullet point basically is, like I said, it's an all-around good deck. It's very consistent. So it's been around since set 1. It doesn't really need much change from the new set. You're adding just a couple little tools like Genie and whatnot, so it just has solid openers, it draws a bunch of cards, has great removal, has a really good late game, so overall it just has a really good game plan for all against all types of decks. Second, it could win on the draw, which is really important in this format too, especially if it's a best of 2. You want to be able to play a deck that could catch up and play from behind. And Ruby Amethyst is one of those best decks to kind of stabilize, because you have cards like Fox, you have Brawl, you have all this removal, and then you have B-Prep, of course, to reset the board. So if you're trying to catch up and you're on the draw, you're able to just kind of rebound and kind of stabilize through what I just mentioned there. And then also for a third point, it has the best answers to Diablo and Genie, which in my opinion are the 2 main cards that are people are really building around this set. Are the evasive cards. So you have cards like Brawl that instantly answers both of them. You have Elsa that could tap both of them and challenge into them. You have Medusa, and if you're able to even shift Big Sisu, those are all great answers to those 2 cards that are just really meta defining in this meta. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start off with the deck. It's traditional red-purple. Most of the decks pretty much revolve around this kind of layout of cards. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a 1-drop. So we're going to go ahead with 4 Chernobog's Followers. I think Chernobog's Followers is really important purple card right now to open up, because you need cards to trade in against some of the aggressive decks like green-purple, or even like a Smee or something like that. So you need a strength of 2 to fight against those cards. And if not, you could always draw as well. It's one of your main draw power cards in the deck. Next, for the 1-drops, you run 4 Magic Broom. Broom is also another card that you could draw off of. It's a 1/2. Whenever you play another character, you banish this card to draw. Simple enough. You just kind of replace itself, quest with it, and you kind of draw. Onto the 2-cost cards, you run 4 Snakes. Snake is your way to bounce all your cards, your rabbits, so you can keep drawing, your goats, so in late game you could just win through there. Snake is also good against Amber Steel songs. If they're gonna try to run Cinderella into you, you could just bounce back your 1-drop back to your hand, so they can't take your character out with like a Storm Rage on. So Snake is just all around like a really good character. And then also for the 2-drops, you run 4 Flynn's. Flynn is still really good because on the play, you're really going to put a lot of pressure on if you open up with Flynn and Sisu. Some decks, they really can't handle that in the first couple turns, especially like blue-red or even green-purple, where they just don't have so much high strength until mid-game. And then sometimes your opponent could brick too, so Flynn could catch your opponent off guard if they're not prepared for it, and it pretty much requires an answer for him. Onto the 3-cost, forced to pair up with Flynn, you have the Sisu lineup. 3-cost Ingobolt's a 1/4, but it gets +1 strength for each card in your opponent's hand. So it could be a really beefy card. 4/4, it could be a 6/4, whatever. Just super strong, takes out a lot of the 4 health characters like Daisy Ducks. Takes out pretty much anything like Steel that even has resist, like a Calhoun. It's just really strong. Quest for 2 as well, and it's a good target for Big Sisu if you do decide to run the 8-drop. Next, for Fox. Fox is also really important in this meta, especially if you're on the draw. Helps you catch up, helps you bounce back all your targets. People are running locations, which I heard over the European Championships, I think a lot of the French players were running McDuck Manor in their builds, like their blue-reds. So People are playing locations, castle still, fox is still very, very powerful. And to get rid of, like, again, like daisies and those 4 health characters. You're playing control, you're playing purple, so you got to run some draw cards, friends on the other side. Pretty self-explanatory, draws you 2 cards. Next, one of the best answers to the metagame cards right now is Brawl. Brawl, banish chosen character with 2 strength or less, hit those Diablos, hit those Genies, hit those Flavor Shams, just anything really, really powerful for your opponent. So you need to run 4, especially in this meta. On to the 4 cost cards, 4 Goats. Goat is your way to win games, basically. Late game, you're not really running castles in this build in particular, so you kind of rely on maybe Goat bounce towards late game. And 4 strength is just super powerful. I think 4 is a good magic number in this meta where it takes out most characters' willpower. Another great card in this meta is Genie. This is the new card from Azurite Sea. This is one of the boogeymen of the format. Genie is a 2/4, quest for 2, has evasive, and when you play this card, you draw a card. So you need answers in the deck to both fight this card and also even play it for your advantage. If your opponent has no way to get rid of this, you're just going to gain 2, 4, 6 lore, and that could kind of pretty much seal the game. Next, I run 3 Rabbits. Rabbit is really good because drawing is really good too. That's what I heard. So you bounce this back and forth. You have multiple ways to draw, especially with Genie and Rabbit. I'm still tinkering around with the ratio, and I'm sure a lot of people are still too, but I think 4 Genies, 3 Rabbits is decent. If you need more draw power, maybe you could bump this up to 4 as well, but there's a lot of unlinkables. I think I'm running 16 in this build. Onto the 5 cost, I run 3 Mauis. Mauis is one of those ratios where it's been cut down from 4 to 3 or even 2. But Maui, again, is just really good against mirror matches. It's good against locations. It's just good against like the Robin Hood, the Shift Robin Hood. You just need a big guy to kind of combat and fight those big willpower characters. Then for the Elsas, I have it at 3. I know a lot of people run it at 4. She's very versatile. She's 2/5. When you play her, you could exert chosen opposing characters. You could exert the Genies even. You could exert any character that wants to stay pretty much unexerted. The 2 strengths, not like a lot, but you still can get rid of those powerful evasive cards because she also has evasive as well. And then go into the higher drops now. 3 Medusas. I really like Medusa in this format. She's also another answer to the Diablos and Genies of the world. And every other crazy 3 strength character, really good against like all the steel cards. She only quests for 1, yeah, but she's got that 4 strength. And if you don't need a user to challenge or to quest, you also have a song, which I'll show in a little bit, that you could use. Then I'm running 2 Tremaines. Tremaine gets around ward. There's a lot of cards in this set that do have ward. A lot of the Emerald cards as well. People are checking that in. Maybe even like a Goofy, the 5-drop. Maybe somebody's trying to break that card, or even Alice, Savvy from Sapphire also has ward. So if you're able to just clear the board, clear the ward characters, you might be able to squeak in depending on the matchup. But she's really good. She quests for 2. She's really strong if you're able to clear the board and maybe board wipe up would be prepared. Then I'm also running 2 songs, 2 Pirate's Life. Not too many people are running this. Like maybe they'll be running this with the new Maui Shark, which I don't have in this build, which you can run to as well. Some people are doing that. But I like Pirate's Life because I think it's really good against green purple, where they're just trying to win. A lot of these games are like neck and neck, so very close lore numbers. And if you just drop like a Pirate's Life, or even if you sing it with like a Medusa, then you're pretty much like a +4 lore ahead of your opponent. So that's really, really strong. And even in the mirror matches where sometimes you're just being control and you're just goat bouncing, then a Pirate's Life could just kind of catch you up as well too. So I like that card. It's just a personal tech of mine. You could run it if you want, but I think it helps against those really close matchups, which you might have in the mirror matches. 3 B preps, you're hard to reset. Like I said, this deck is really good to catch up on the draw. If you need to clear out a board, if they're going super wide, you could punish them through B prep. And then I ran the one of Sisu. A lot of people are running the one of, I think, Domingo, and a bunch of other people are just running like a one of card just for space reasons. Sisu's are very, very strong too against any type of like low to the ground deck. Again, the green purples, the amber steels, decks like that that have the 2 strength or less characters, you just want to board wipe. And then if you're able to shift for this, it's even powerful. You can even shift and sing be prep and then play like another character. So it's very, very strong. But yeah, that's pretty much the core, which is what most Ruby Amethyst decks are running. The ratios could change between like 6 to 8 cards depending on who's running it. But this is more of a traditional build, like how Domingo and Edmund Chu and No I'm Not are running. So I think it's a little bit more consistent than the lore kind of steel deck with Maui and Thievery and all that stuff. But I think this deck is going to be really powerful. It's the next deck that you can see that's in the Continentals. It might win it too as well, who knows, but people are definitely going to be prepared for it, literally. And I hope you guys consider this deck if you guys are thinking about what to play at the Continentals. And if you guys like what you see, feel free to rate, comment, subscribe. I'm on my way to 1K, hashtag Alana1K. Let's get there, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.